Hello guys, we're back again at Module 1. I'm gonna discuss what is web development as well as the some terminologies concerning about web design. So, ano ang nakikita nyo sa mga larawan na susunod? Yan. So, lahat sila kung papansin nyo ay web page o website. But, ano ba ang pagkakaiba ng dalawa? Web page versus website. Simple lang. Ang web page ay document commonly written in HTML that is accessible through the internet or other network using a web browser. While website is collection of related web pages. So, meaning to say, si website ay ganito, composed of two or more web pages. We have types of website here. Number one is personal websites. Number two is photo sharing websites. We have Flickr, Google Photos, Pexels, and photo buckets. Writers or authors websites. Community building websites or social networking sites. Blogging websites, informational websites, directory websites, e-commerce websites, government websites, and school or university websites. So the internet and the World Wide Web. Many people use the terms internet and World Wide Web interchangeably, but in fact, the two terms are not synonymous. Internet and the web are two separated but related things. So, what is the internet? So, internet is a massive network of networks. A networking infrastructure connects millions of computers together globally. Isipin nyo lang sa subject natin na CSS, peer-to-peer, parang ganun siya. Pero, mas malawak. What is the World Wide Web? So, si World Wide Web or simply web is a way of accessing information over the medium of the internet. It is an information sharing model that is built on top of the internet. The web uses the HTTP protocol, only one of the languages spoken over the internet, to transmit data. So, si web browsers, ito na yung ginagamit natin. A web browser or simply browser is a software application used to locate, retrieve, and display content on the World Wide Web, including web pages, images, videos, and other files. So, as a server-client model, the browser is the client that runs on a computer and contacts the web server to request for information. Saan? Sa server. The web browser sends the information back to the browser, which displays the results on the computer. So, ganito siya. So, step 1, syempre, magsa-search yung ginagawa natin. Pupunta tayo sa Google para mag-search. Ang gagawin yan, ibabaton ng computer natin information sa internet, sa ISP o sa internet service provider natin. Tapos, ipupukol naman nun sa server kung saan natin sinesearch yung information sa Google. And yung Google naman, ibabalik ulit sa ping natin ng ISP, pabalik sa ating computer. Popular web browsers, we have Mozilla Firefox, yan. Google Chrome, Opera browser, Microsoft Edge, Safari browser para sa Mac OS, and Maxton browser sa China. So, Uniform Resource Locator or URL. Now, URL or sometimes termed as web address. Tandaan nyo, URL is the web address. Is a reference to a web resource that specifies its location on a computer network or the internet. These URLs are transferred to web servers for request to specific web documents or HTML pages. Web servers naman are computers that delivers web pages. So, every web server has an IP address and possibly a domain name. Any computer can be turned into a web server. Tandaan nyo yan, kahit anong computer, by installing server software and connecting the machine to the internet. ISP or Internet Service Providers is a company that provides customers with internet access. So data may be transmitted using several technologies like DSL, cable modem, wireless, fiber optics, or other dedicated high-speed interconnects. So, web development languages. So, ano ba ang mga language na kailangan natin gamitin? HTML or Hypertext Markup Language. This is the standard markup language for creating web pages and web applications. And we also have CSS or Cascading Style Sheets. Cascading Style Sheets is a style sheet language used for describing the presentation of a document written in a HTML. How can we apply CSS to a web page? By inline CSS, internal CSS, external CSS, and CSS frameworks. So, inline CSS. Inline CSS is used for applying style to a particular HTML tag. The style attribute is used to style a particular HTML tag. Least recommended styling method because of the difficulty it brings in managing larger websites. Useful for testing and previewing changes. Internal CSS naman, code is put in the head section of a particular web page. Classes and IDs can be used to refer to the CSS code. Style will be effective for the whole web page. And internal CSS is put in between style and closing style tag. External CSS. This is the most convenient way to add CSS to a website. Only a single CSS file will be edited and all web pages will be updated. Provides smaller web page sizes and cleaner structure. Huwag kayong malito, lahat na yan i-discuss natin at gagawin nyo. And CSS framework. This is a pre-prepared software framework that is meant to allow for easier, more standards compliant web design using the cascading style sheets language. Sa lahat na yon, ito ang pinakamadali. Pero ito yung huling-huli natin gagawin. Siyempre, gagawin muna natin yung una, yung basic. So, Double-Tree CSS. So, ano ba siya? This is a pre-modern CSS framework with built-in responsiveness. Smaller and faster than any other CSS frameworks. Speeds up and simplifies web development. So, yung Double-Tree CSS, tatalakayin natin yan in later modules. I think that's in the last part. Mas madali siyang gamitin. Pero dun muna tayo syempre sa mas mahirap. Kasi yung mahirap na yun yung basic para matutunan nyo. So, tools needed for creating web pages. So, ito ang gagamitin natin. The text or source code editor. Text editor is a type of computer program that edits plain text. So, doon nagsisimula si HTML sa Notepad or text editor. Doon lang tayo gagawa. But in our case, sa Sublime tayo gagawa. Mas madali. Microsoft Notepad is readily available in all devices running Windows OS. Source code editor is a text editor program designed specifically for editing. Source code editor is a text editor program designed specifically for editing source code of computer programs by programmers. Sublime Text and Notepad++ are some of the top source code editors available for web development. Sublime Text ang gagamitin natin. And that's the end of Introduction to Web Development, Module 1. And that's the end for our Module 1, which is the Introduction to Web Development. So, Module 2, we're gonna create your own web page. Doon natin matatalakay kung ano-ano ba ang kailangan nating i-type upang maka-create tayo ng isang HTML.